Good morning, students. So, in the last class, we have started the cell structure and function, isn't it? What is a cell? Cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism, isn't it? And in that, we have learned the different types of cells, variation in size, shape, then number, everything we learned, isn't it? Yes. So, today we are going to learn how to prepare a slide. So let us see how to prepare a dry mount and wet mount. Dry mount is used for viewing the inanimate objects, that is not alive, the objects which are having the lifeless objects. So dry mount slides can consist of a sample placed on a slide or else a sample covered with a cover slip. Place the slide on a flat surface. Use the tweezers or the forceps to place the sample on the slide. Then place the cover slip on top of the sample. So this is the way to prepare the mount slide. Then wet slide. How to prepare a wet slide? Wet mount is used for viewing living specimens such as organisms and cells. To prepare a wet mount, we have to follow some steps. Place a drop of fluid in the middle of the slide. Fluid may be water or glycerin. Then, if weaving a sample not already in the fluid, use tweezers or to position the specimen within the drop. Place one side of the cover slip at an angle so that its edge touches the slide and the outer edge of the drop. Slowly lower the cover slip, avoiding air bubbles. If the fluid drop is too large, the cover slip float on the slide. The specimen to viewed under the microscope is often stained, that is, colored with dye. Stains are used to help identify different types of cells. They give the image more contrast and allow cells to be classified according to their shapes, which makes it easier for us to view the details. And these are some of the stains commonly used: iodine solution, safranin, methylene blue, and crystal violet. So students, this is the way we have to prepare the slide. A cell contains both living and non-living parts. The basic components of the cell are the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Now let us see one by one. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. It encloses and protects the cell. It separates the cell from other cells. It is semi-permeable, therefore selectively regulates the entry and exit of substances from the cell. Plant cell has additional rigid layer called cell wall that surrounds the cell membrane. It is the outermost boundary of the cell wall, which is made up of cellulose. It maintains the shape of the plant cell and provides protection against variations in temperature, high wind speed, lack of moisture, etc. Then cytoplasm. The cell contains a jelly-like material called cytoplasm. Many enzymes, amino acids, sugars, and some other molecules are dissolved in the cytoplasm to maintain life. Hundreds of chemical reactions take place in the cytoplasm. Several small structures called cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm. Plant and animal cells have many cell organelles in common. Let us discuss one by one. Golgi apparatus. It is made up of lakhs of membrane-bound pouches. Its function to store, package, modify various materials such as proteins and fats. It helps in formation of lysosome. Vacuole. These are storage areas surrounded by a membrane used for storing excess water, minerals, pigments, and many other substances. They maintain the shape of the cell. In plant cell, the large vacuoles are present. Animal cell, small and more vacuoles are present. Lysosome. These are sacs of enzymes, or enzymes are nothing but the digestive juices. So they are the sacs of enzymes bound by single membrane that are capable of digesting cells and a variety of intra and extracellular materials. In times of emergency, they burst and destroy the cell, so that they are called suicide bags. Endoplasmic reticulum. It is an interconnected network of tubules. The main function is synthesis and transport of proteins. Ribosomes. They are small granular structures scattered in the cytoplasm. Sometimes they are attached to the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum and give rough surface. Such endoplasmic reticulum is called rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the other without ribosomes, the endoplasmic reticulum is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And these ribosomes play an important role in synthesis of protein. Mitochondria. They are spherical or rod-shaped double membranous structures. When a plant cell or an animal cell requires energy, the glucose molecules are broken down to release energy through the process called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration occurs in mitochondria, so they are called the powerhouses of the cell. Plastids. They are double membrane bound organelles present only in plant cell, which are spherical or ovoid in shape. Based on the pigment color, three types are there. One is chloroplast, and they contain green pigment which helps in making food because they have the chlorophyll, so they can synthesize their food by the process photosynthesis. Second one is chromoplast. They are the non-green pigments, give color to flowers and fruits. Third is leucoplast, colorless. They don't have pigments. They store food in the form of carbohydrates, fats and proteins. and used to store starch. Next is nucleus. Nucleus is the control center of the cell. Usually, most cells have a single nucleus. However, cells of fungi have more than one nucleus. Red blood cells, RBC, do not have nucleus. The nucleus consists of the nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus, and chromosomes. Nuclear membrane is a double-layered membrane encloses the contents of the nucleus. It has several openings called nuclear pores that help in the exchange of materials between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Nucleoplasm is the fluid-like substance present inside the nucleus. It contains the nucleolus and the chromosomes. Nucleolus is a spherical structure found inside the nucleus. It is an important site for protein synthesis. Chromosomes, they are thread-like structures present in the nucleus. They carry all the information needed by the cell to function and produce more cells. This information is stored in the form of genes. Genes help in transferring characteristics when a cell divides to form new cell. So they transfer the characters from parent to the offsprings. Offspring means young ones. Centrosomes. This organelle is present only in the plant cell. They play a role in cell division. Now let us see the difference between animal cell and plant cell. Plant cell. Plant cell is large and has a fixed rectangular shape. Animal cell is small and irregular or round in shape. In plant cell, cell wall is present, but in animal cell it is absent. Plant cell, the nucleus lies on one side of the cell, but in animal cell, the nucleus lies in the center. Mitochondria are present in fewer numbers in plant cell, but in animal cell, there are large in numbers. Plastids are present in plant cell, but absent in animal cell. Centrosomes are absent in plant cell. Centrosomes are present in animal cell. One large central vacuole is present in plant cell. In animal cell, many small vacuoles are present. Okay, students. So today we have learned the different cell organelles present in the cell, and we learned the difference between plant cell and animal cell. All of you study, and we'll meet in the next class. Thank you.